Welcome back, Wowzery. Doing a little bit different video today. Was at the forum and noticed there were several people that they seem overwhelmed by the game. And no, quite honestly, if you don't know too much about the game, you can be overwhelmed. I did not want to do that. I'm not paying attention to what I'm clicking and heading into battle. And it's got to wait. But people know they click in, they see the build screen, and they're just, what did I get myself into? I meant to go back, not quick start. So no, yeah, over here, no. I think these are pretty much self-explanatory. No, Naval Academy gives you the missions. I think if you are a first-time person, the target practice is probably the best mission to take because it gives you limited options, and enemy ship doesn't fire back, and it just gives you a good sense of what's going on. Not news, settings, that's always credits. I'm going to do a custom battle here. I just got something up here, and you take a look at this, and you got all this stuff right here, all this stuff right here, all this over here, and good Lord, what is all this? Well, let's just kind of, your characteristics over here, your name, the displacement, which has a slider. You can move it back and forth, and it'll shorten. A lot of times it has 3 links: large, a medium, and a small. And that's just for tonnage. Speed, I think that's self-evident. Now, the higher the speed, the more weight that's going to be on the ship. Now, you look at your weight up here. The higher I go, the more weight is devoted to the engine. And you go down, the less weight's going to be to the engine. Of course, slower speeds, you're going to be easier to hit. Range, this actually is probably going to be to advantage when the campaign mode comes out. Just designing a ship, battle stuff, that doesn't mean much. Bulkheads, again, flooding. This takes advantage, and again, the more you do, the heavier the ship becomes. The less you do, the lighter the ship becomes, but it's another balance. Over here, you got your components, engines. They have since when I very first video I did, they now have obsolete as grayed out what you can do. And if you actually go here, it actually has the required text. So I believe that they're going to be doing the technology and stuff like that, so you can see that. So now turbines, and again, it comes down to weight, acceleration, ship repairs, tonnage, all that stuff. Coal, semi-oil, or oil. Again, it's got funnel capacity, which affects how fast you can accelerate. This one I'm just going to pick oil. The boilers, again, affects funnel capacity, hull weight, engine. And you can, forced actually has a nice funnel capacity, but is heavier. Now, and you can actually see this. Now, as you go over to the funnels, you can see the tonnage right there. If I do balanced, 1,100. Forced, almost 290 tons more. So it does help. Auxiliary, this has a whole lot of stuff. Pumping out your water, turn rate, engine weight, cost, all that good stuff. Propellers, again, another turning rate, engine repairs. It again can more tonnage. protection, this is where you actually, what type of armor you're going to use. There's the very, was it the Virginia, CSS Virginia and Monitor? I think you can only use iron plate. Again, you balance the armor on out. Now the barbette has actually changed since that first video. Now it now has the flash fire chance, and actually you do want that. Had a video a couple of videos ago, the Weymouth light cruiser, and I mean I was having, my turrets were flying off like they were crazy. So here's anti-torpedo defense. Again, all this stuff will affect your weight. The higher up you go, the more weight it's going to be. So you have to balance how much weight are you going to do. I quickly went by this one. Again, better protection, especially against torpedoes. This is your torpedo protection in here. And again, it decreases torpedo damage, but increases your hull weight. They added the flash fire chance right here. So floatability. And then here's anti-flood. How quick you also repair. How much your ship will pump out water. That's always important. When you're flooding and you want to get rid of that water. The Citadel is the one thing I'm not quite. It's not that I'm not sure. I don't know the layout that they're using. So it can be a bit hard. I mean, you can go through here and look at all the different buffs and benefits and all that type of stuff it gives you. Go with the turtleback with this particular ship. And again, shells, lighter, standard, heavy, and super heavy. Again, you're increasing your flash fire chance, but you're also increasing damage. So you have to balance the two. This is straightforward. Reduced is just the actual number of shells your ship's going to have. Increase means you got more shells, and decreased different. Torpedoes, this is the same thing. Less torpedoes, more torpedoes, reloads during battle. The explosives, again, if you take a look at the buffs and all that type of stuff, you can see a lot of times greater shell damage, shell velocity, flash fire. It all depends on how much you want, and it becomes a very personal preference. There is no one great one. I'm going to use high TNT. I usually don't do that one. This is all how fast your turret turns. But again, there are benefits and takeaways in it. You go all the way on over here, you do increase your flash fire chance. Same with the auto reload. This affects how fast your guns will reload. Torpedoes, again, faster, standard, fast. I believe this one's stealthy, detection. But you balance all these things out. Know how much damage they do versus how accurate they are versus how much their detection. So you got to look at all that, and go okay, or you can just go standard. This actually is pretty normal. Just how big your torpedo is going to be. Rangefinder. This actually will help you attack, get the range. But now if you notice, there's gun aiming speed. gun base accuracy or long range accuracy? Are you going to do a lot of battles at long range? You might want this one. If you're going to try to go short, no, you might want this one. But again, no, it adds weight to the tower, so you have to be ready for that. The radio affects if you have a large fleet or larger fleets, communication between the fleets, but it does affect, puts more weight on the superstructure. Armor, this is actually just pretty much self-explanatory. No belts on the side, deck extended. The belt extended, I'm not quite sure how far the belt goes versus belt extended, so you gotta just kind of fiddle with that occasionally over a wall, all that type stuff. Now every ship, if you look on over here in the stats right here, it tells you what every ship requires. A battleship will require a main tower, secondary tower, 2 main guns, and a funnel. Every battleship has to have that. So I'll put in a tower, a superstructure here, and a secondary superstructure. Right there. And if you notice, everything that you put on there will have 4. Now if it's offset in the 4, you don't want that to be over 10% really. Now then it really starts affecting your aim and other things in the game. Let's see. This is barbettes. And again, you can only really put them on the hard points right there. If it's your first time building, try to be balanced. Now if you put something in front, put it in back, so that you have a balance, so that you get that as even as possible. Put in a funnel. Interesting. German superstructure and a Japanese funnel. Now the funnel, if you go all the way down on this one, there's engine efficiency. This actually is good for your acceleration, main speed, and all that stuff. You do want to kind of get that up close to 100%. And that works with the funnel, the engine, the oil, the balance, and the speed. Main guns. This actually is pretty self-explanatory. You've got both centerline and side guns fit on the side on certain ships and certain superstructures and stuff. I'm not doing it with this ship, but centerline. And if you take a look, each ship will have their rate of fire, weight, cost, crew, penetration, reload, target signature. That's how much it affects other ships seeing you. And then a lot of times it'll be single, double, triple barrel. And the rate of fire does change for all 3, along with the target signature. So I'm going to go with double barrels here. My weight is now up to 4% on the forehand side. And then secondary guns. Now again, you choose which one you want. I'm just going to go with 5-inch. Again, it's got the same thing as the main guns. No rate of fire, target signature, all that type stuff. Let's see. And again, hard points. And a lot of times if you hit either shift or control, it can allow you especially with the gun placement, to move things around, not have to actually use the hard points as much. Casements, that's actually a special thing. They have certain things in the hull or superstructure where casement will go. Torpedo launcher. You can do underwater torpedoes. I'm going to see about putting a deck gun on here. About right there. Looks good. Oh, one more. I'm going to do some 2-inch guns here. As you can see, there's a lot more hard points to place guns. That actually was kind of nice. And this is my ship, and if you go all the way down on this side, you have a you can bring things up so it's not as cluttered. It'll have a little overview right there. And then of course over here, now there's your overview again. A lot of this information will probably be more useful for when the campaign comes out. Know how many months it'll take to build, maintenance costs, top speed, maintenance per month, armament, and then right here is just ship details. If you kind of float over anything, it will tell you what it is. Now just take some time, look it on over, and if you get to the armament, it'll actually show you where the armament is. This is your modifiers for your accuracy. Plus 44, long range, plus 75. Any penalties? From weather, wave, wind, how fast your guns will aim during the battle. And this just basic information about what it covers. Extended deck. This bow, stern. Again, the problem with this I have is I don't know where the extended deck starts. Now, does it start right here? Does it start right here? Up here? I mean, if it starts right there, then my turret right there has a thin extended deck. So I wish the computer or the game, the developers would tell you where that armor is. And of course, armor quality, modifiers for damage, torpedo damage, fire chance, flash flooding, your flash fires. This is where all your costs, weight and costs come in, so you can look at that individually. And here's where it checks off everything that makes sure that you got it all correct, so you can launch it. Here's your detection, how far away you're detected, how far away you can spot things, torpedoes, and just various other things about your hull. Now I've got a 4.1% 4-weight offset, pitch, roll. And this actually your accuracy, so all that, engine efficiency, and the one funnel I have, that's the funnel capacity for it. Base plus tech. And that's when you're ready to go into battle, you hit launch. Man, there's a nice reflection right there. And that is kind of basics for building in this game. And as you get more, once you get the basics down, get some figuring out how to do the 4-weight, you can start getting into those weird designs that you see online on YouTube and all that type stuff and really start going crazy once you. But you gotta learn how to walk a little bit before running. Although many parents will tell you kids go from crawling to running, so. Well, hopefully you kind of get a good sense of how to do this. Things have changed a little bit, especially with flash fire, and there may be future developments down the way. So have fun. No, don't be afraid to experiment, and see what happens. And till next video, I'll see you then.